Marcy's new best friend.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she always does, but that looks like a great time.
So sweet.
All right, a local organization is trying to win a big grant, get this, from the Red Sox, all to help kids with type 1 diabetes.
This is amazing. The group Elbowbump Kid is first right now for Connecticut, but they need your help to stay there. Samantha Merwin, one of the co-founders of the group, is here to tell us about their plan for the grant money. Thank you so much for being here, Samantha.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, tell us first and foremost, before we get into anything else, Elbowbump Kid, how did you get the name? Tell us about the background. It's such a unique name.
Yes, it is. So my child Sage was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 17 months old. Literally a baby in my arms. Is now 17 years old, working on essays for college right now.
Wow.
Tied to type 1 diabetes, of course.
And how did you know that Sage had diabetes? What was that process like?
Sage started drinking a lot more, like a ton of water.
Okay.
But we wrote it off, like, all babies go through, go through phases. And then Sage stopped eating. And we were like, well, again, a phase. All parents are told when your baby's little, like, oh, don't call the pediatrician for everything. Started being
though.
I know, right? Yeah, started being a little antisocial. But what really got us was the day that Sage slept in an extra 3 hours. I'm like, no child sleeps.
Right.
Every kid's up at 6 a.m. I'm calling the pediatrician. So luckily, our pediatrician, Pro Health in Middlesex, yay, Middlesex Pediatrics, they recognized the signs and symptoms, called us in immediately, and Sage was diagnosed without any tragic outcome. Because a lot of kids, a lot of doctors don't necessarily recognize the signs and symptoms. So, kids go into DKA and are in the PICU for a while. But we had, kind of a non-tragic diagnosis.
That's good.
And obviously you started this nonprofit, this grassroots nonprofit, Elbowbump Kid. Again, I just love the name. But tell us about this current contest that you're doing, because when you hear that you are in this contest involving some really big organizations, and with the Red Sox, you must just have been on cloud 9.
Yeah.
Yes, we were. We were really excited because we do have a few dream programs that we've worked on, that we have sketched out, but we just don't have the funds. We're very small. All of us, it's volunteer run, so we don't, so we're not salaried. We do it in our spare time. So the Red Sox have a grant right now that's up for a community vote. So you can vote for a nonprofit to win a grant. So what we would be doing with that is we have a couple of programs related to newly diagnosed type 1s that are getting celiac as well, which is a common secondary diagnosis. We also have a mental health and nutrition program sketched out for the existing families that currently have type 1. And right now we always run programs for type 1, but this grant would supersize it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, I think it's so amazing what you're doing, because there can't be enough resources out there, right? And you as a parent, you've gone through the process with your child, now 17, but there are so many parents that are just getting that diagnosis and they don't know where to turn to. So you're really providing a lot of intricate resources for those families, but like you said, this grant money would really help. So people have until August 22nd to vote?
Right, August 22nd at 4:59 p.m. you can vote. You vote once a day per email address, so if you have a work email, a junk email, and your regular email, you can vote with all 3 of those every single day. So we really need the community to continue to vote. And as you referenced, providing resources to the community. If there's anybody out there that's a type 1 that is not connected with us, please reach out to us via our website, elbowbumpkidinc.org. We would love to have you. We would love to have them at one of our monthly events.
What was it like for you? Obviously, it's a small, relatively small grassroots organization that you do huge things, but when the Red Sox contacted you and said, we have these 4 other much larger organizations, including a couple of hospitals, Elbowbump Kid is also part of the group. Were you just amazed and saying
We were so shocked. I sent it around to our board members, and we were really excited. And then, of course, the first thing we say is, how are we going to get this done, right? And we weren't sure if the community would be rallying, because this is a very long period of time to vote. There's 15 days left for you to vote every single day with your emails. We weren't sure if we could keep it up with the community, but we've had a lot of really dedicated community members that have been voting every single day.
That's great.
And right now you're #1, and we got to keep it that way, right?
Right. We are #1 for Connecticut, and we're also #1 overall for the region. Okay. So if a nonprofit's overall for the region, you get another grant as well on top. So,
so what would it mean to you if you're able to get this grant money?
We would probably cry and laugh. We would cry and laugh, and we would immediately start meeting to execute those programs. So, I mean, it would mean that newly diagnosed celiacs that are in economically disadvantaged communities in Connecticut, they would be able to have, you know, more starter resources than they have now. On newly diagnosed type 1s, the same thing. We would just be able to plug more resources into the existing community as well. Right now, it's, you know, we're running on fumes, right? Because we fight with every other nonprofit in the world for, you know, for all those individual donations during Giving Tuesday and during our annual fundraiser, which this year is in November. You know, it would mean the world to the type 1 community for us, you know, the small nonprofit, to be able to get the grant.
Thank you, Samantha. Here's the information on your screen. You can find them on Facebook, www.elbowbumpkidinc.org. Remember, vote, vote, vote through August 22nd. It's per email address, so if you have a few extra email addresses lying around, every vote counts. Thank you so much, and best of luck.
All right, great work, Elbowbump Kid. All right, we're getting ready now to nourish our bodies and our minds, because today is Food Truck Friday, baby. We'll break down why this menu doesn't just claim to be better for you, it actually is. Stay with us.